or in Spanish. Bonjour, buenas tardes, and good afternoon. Wait, how is? Okay. Oops. No. Okay. I will don't touch more this. So first of all, thank you to the organization to invite me. I'm not the coordinator of NAREB project. I represent Brigitte Jiquel, who couldn't come because she's in China, and she invited me to show an auto-analysis that we make in NAREB project about the selection process that we carry on. So in this auto-analysis, Fabrice Navarro from SEA was also very active, and with myself we try to make an analysis of all the S4 done in the project, and how from where we start and where we are going. So in NAREB project, so it's just as a good thing that we are after the both previous projects, because we want to treat two infection disease, tuberculosis and staphylococcal infection, and has B comments this problem of resistance of antibiotics. So we will address the multi-drug resistant tuberculosis and the methicillin resistant Staphylococcus aureus. So first apologize for the format, some letter change. Here's just a shame. I don't have a so nice video, but this is from the World Health Organization. This is how the new antibiotics arrived, and this message from the World Health Organization that is still missing new antibiotics to treat bacterial infections. This is just to summarize what TB impact has in worldwide. It's about 10 million of people fell ill from TB. This is around 28,000 per day. 1.8 million people die from TB, so it's a very serious infection. I'm from Galicia, and TB is endemic in Galicia, in the north of Spain. And there is 1 to 5 multi-drug resistant in TB, and only half are cured. So it's very important. And this is a message from the World Health Organization, that only 2 antibiotics for treatment of MGTB were reached the market in 70 years. Second one is Staphylococcus aureus. As commented before, Staphylococcus aureus is a gram-positive bacterium that we can have in the skin and healthy humans, and this opportunistic infection. So at the beginning it was associated to hospitals, but nowadays they are more. They're also recently associated to community accurate associated, and also in livestock associated. So it becomes more and more important to find a solution for this infection. This is an infographic to show the priorities for new antibiotics and to treat resistant bacteria to the actual antibiotics. And you see in black those increase of resistance. In the case of Staphylococcus, the last report, this is the report from last year, they show a little bit of decrease of resistance. This is the map of Staphylococcus aureus. So you see in whole Europe and more in the south, this red and high prevalence of Staphylococcus aureus infections. And this is the NAREB consortium, so 2 infection disease. So it's a big consortium, 16 partners, 8 countries, so all all the Europe, particularly good part of European countries or associated country, 4 SME and 1 industry involved in the project. So this is how organized is the project. First, work package 1 for the design and the selection of the antibiotics. Then work package 2 is the producers of nanoparticles. We will see that we have 5 platforms for nanoparticles. Work package 3, the in vitro and activity and also diagnostic, has a pneumo NP. Work package 4 for the in vivo efficacy and biodistribution. And work package 5, that I'm the work package leader, is the in vitro and in vivo safety assessment. So this is very important to see how there is one direction, but there is a lot of loop of feedback, to go back to the start point and to try to continue. Then in this project we have a PDT who is supervising all the progress of the project. Then work package 7 for dissemination, work package 8 for managing. So this is the okay. It's not matter. It's missing things. This is the NAREBS plan. So there is an antibiotic. I think we're reaching about 25 antibiotics. We start with already available antibiotics, and also we include new antibiotics selected and characterized in work package 1. So to get more success, we were working not only on a characterized antibiotic in work package 1, but also with already available antibiotic that we can be buy. And those are the platforms studied. This is very, very difficult because 5 types of nanoparticles, but each type of nanoparticles will have different size, different charge, and also the shell was different. So it was very, very difficult to count exactly how many options we have, but I can tell you there was very, very huge number of possibility. And each time the producer is optimizing the nanoparticles, for my role and the work package 5 leader for toxicity, we have a new prototype, so everything should be done again, because even if the polyethylene glycol is polyethylene glycol, but different size in the chain or different ratio or so on, makes a different thing. This is what the aim of the project: take antibiotics bind or encapsulated in nanocarriers, mix everything, and then pass to this process of selection, this pyramid, inverted pyramid. So we have the combination, and we go through different steps of selection. Then at the end, we have the candidate. So this is for TB, the story of TB. So we'll explain a little bit. In the length is the combination. So we make a list of possible antibiotics and a list of possible platforms, and then we have the theoretical combination. Then the thickness is the time we spend to produce these prototypes, or to decide about this prototype. So in 1 month, we perform the release. This is the conference in Grenoble. And then from this big list, only 85 in paper were possible, but also in laboratory. Then, easily in the first month, more than half were totally discarded, because at the end it's not feasible, the nanoparticles are not stable, there is no loading and so on. But at least we get 39. So imagine all the huge work done the first year only to have characterized it for the producer, but also directly to save time. Also, there is a feedback from other work package, for work package 3 for activity, obviously, and work package 5 for safety. I have here, work package 2 compatibility, drug loading, release, and work package 3 in vitro efficacy was more critical. If the drug, once encapsulated, lose efficacy, is automatically discarded. Then work package 1 was concluded activity for the first year, and then we get 10, I think, Fabrice, 10 new leads from work package 1, and so we create new combinations that should be also started again. So at the end, we have not only one pyramid, but really we have two fused pyramids, one from already available antibiotics, another for designed or characterized in the project, and see how dramatic is the selection process that we start with huge possibilities, and then at the end we only get 5 selected candidates, which is a huge and amazing result. The objective was at least to reach to 4, and we were able to test 5 that they were going to the in vivo efficacy is in vivo efficacy in infected animals, in infected models, tuberculosis resistant. So it's not so it's not so tricky. It's tricky to perform it. So the industry wanted to have things clear before start those experiments that are time consuming of 4-5 months to perform it. So this is a little bit overview of those nanocarriers studied, and also when they stop it. You see a lot of them from the same drugs. Sometimes the drug makes when the thing stops. This is the steps around the project, the process. So those are the different parts of the inverted pyramid, and here you have in red the effort. So sometimes for the same drugs and the same nanocarrier, you have the same stop. And you see a lot of them are stopped at the beginning, and other are discarded at the end. But in terms of effort, as there is a lot of loop, even if it's stopped or discarded at the beginning. For example, this amikacin with this producer 4 nanocarrier, we have a huge effort, because even if it's stopped in the loading, the producers were recycling these nanoparticles and changing and creating new prototypes. So this is a nanocarrier 1, A, B, C, D, E, F. So a huge effort, to rescue those candidates and continue in the change. So at the end, even if I try to define the number of combination, really is half of the real combination we test. And this is the case of Staphylococcus aureus. We start with highest number of combination, but dramatically the compatibility and drug loading release were less than expected, and only 34 were able to be tested, and only 26 were tested in further experiments and in workbench 3 and 5. So very dramatic selection process. So in this point, we get new antibiotics and new elements, new active molecules. So to try to increase the number of candidates, imagine here I didn't put it, but all the things are discarded here, and those also are discarded. So in this point we start to say, okay, maybe we should fight against MSSA to try at least to save all this effort and see what we've done is also available for MSSA. But fortunately, we still get candidates for Staphylococcus aureus, even if we didn't reach the 4 candidates that were planned. We reached 3 candidates. This is amazing, because at the end we only want 1 candidate for infection disease. But obviously, if it fails, you lose all the work. So to get more opportunities, more candidates you have, better. And in vivo experiments are time consuming. So at the same time, if you can test 4 candidates, it's better than it's only test 1, because also to compare and so on. So this even if we see a dramatic selection process at the beginning, in this case, the prototypes were discarded practically at the end of the pyramid, in the middle of the pyramid. It's not the case of TB. The TB were, even if it was no a dramatic decrease of number of prototypes, they were discarded more in the beginning. In the case of Staphylococcus aureus, a lot of them reach not the early stage, but more further stage. So here was very dramatic. So this is, I apologize for the they moved I tried to pass to PDF, but they changed it. So here in this, it should be more red than and here is mixing the red and the blue. So for Staphylococcus aureus, it was very, very, very difficult, and all the table was red. So to show how challenging and how difficult it was. So this is the comparison, how we compare the two selection process. So even if things were looking better at the beginning, we get a big gap here. And for TB, things were more easiest, but we spent 3 years to get these 5 candidates. So even if we thought at the beginning of the project in 2 years, at the end we spent 1 year more, because it's very, very difficult, and we try to rescue, to at least achieve this objective, that to get at least 4 candidates. So that's it. It's lesson learning, and how challenging is to get candidates. We have 2 infection disease, so double of opportunities, big consortium, and a lot. The strategy of started with already available antibiotics, but also new ones. So really, the idea of the project was to put everything to get the more and more success at the end. So now, thank you for your attention, obviously, and also for the financial from the AC. Obviously, if the AC was not financing, we couldn't get this amazing project. Please visit us at the RAME webpage, and thank you again for your attention. Thank you.